Hello, everyone, and how are we doing? Good afternoon. It's okay. I know we're in a library and we're not used to making noise, but this is your time to shine. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome back to Outspoken Saturdays here at the Boston Public Library and the Newsfeed Cafe. I'm just happy to be back here with y'all. Can we get a woo-woo? Can we get a yes? Yeah. Can I get a, I know that's right. I love the sass in it. My name is Amanda Shea, and I am your host of Outspoken Saturdays. Also be aware that you all are being filmed as well as a part of our live studio audience, so wave at the cameras. You're on TV, say hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, kids. Okay, yeah, see? I knew it. I knew somebody was going to say, hi, kids. For anyone who's new here, welcome to Outspoken Saturdays. This is a space where people get to speak their truth and share their stories through the powerful art of spoken word poetry. Do I have spoken word poetry fans in the building? Yes. There should be way more noise than that. Yes. Okay. Outspoken Saturdays are all about celebrating what really matters to you. Hi, beautiful. How are you doing? Outspoken Saturdays are all about celebrating what really matters to you. If you don't already know, that is GBH's slogan. So give it up for GBH. Our friends at GBH have been told to go fund yourselves. Yeah, we have. We've lost federal funding, and now we're turning to you, our community. If you enjoy this program, and I'm sure that you will, and are able to support our work, it would mean the world to us. Your support really is what makes us stay in business, really, and shows like this very possible. If you're interested in learning more about supporting GBH, please come chat with us after the show, and we'd love to tell you more. Does that sound like a plan? Say yes, yes. This month, it is Native American Heritage Month, celebrated each year in November, and we pause to amplify stories, traditions, and cultures of Native Americans, Alaska Native, Native Hawaiian, and affiliated island communities. Give it up for that. This month, I'm really honored because we don't always do this, and if you're a part of the program, you know that we have about some months that we have panel discussions, right? Has anybody been here while we've had panel discussions? Just a show of hands. Yes, I love that you waved at me. Hi, friend, welcome back. This month, we have been graced with the opportunity to speak with Dr. Claudia A. Foxtree. You can clap. And Jean-Luc Pierite. Yes, keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. We're going to first introduce our first panelists of this afternoon and about their work in the Native American communities here in Boston. In different ways, both of their work uplifts their communities and gives voice to their issues. And I want to just make sure that you guys are giving a warm welcome to both of our panelists today, because I'm not bringing anybody up until the energy is right. It is really, really difficult to come up here and share your truth and also share about your work, especially in these trying times. So I need that energy super high. I see some of y'all up there also looking over. Hello. So make sure you give them a warm round of applause so that they feel welcome. We also have an amazing, amazing poets that will be joining our program later today. I think there's about 8 of them, so give it up for those 8 speakers today as well. This show is not possible without the poetry and the poets who really share their heart and their art to the world. So without further ado, I want to welcome up our first panelist. We will welcome Dr. Claudia A. Foxtree. Hi.
Hello.
Before we begin, I want to just read your bio. Is that okay with you?
That sure is.
Beautiful. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today. Can we just give another warm welcome for Dr. Claudia A. Foxtree? You're going to be clapping a lot during this program. Claudia is a multiracial and multicultural educator and social justice activist, identifying as German and Arawak, and a proud member of the Ghanaian tribe.
Yukayaki Guainia.
Yukayaki Guyana?
Guainia.
Waina. See, we have to make sure that our pronunciation is right today. Thank you for the correction. For more than 30 years, she's helped educators transform their curriculum and teaching practices, and she's been a long-time facilitator with ideas, initiatives for developing equity and achievement for students amongst other organizations in the city, such as MCNAA, Massachusetts Center for Native American Awareness, and UCTP, United Confederation of Taino People. Those are my people too, so give it up for Tainos. She also recently retired as a middle school teacher after decades of inspiring students and mentoring fellow educators. Claudia, we're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you to WGBH. I'm going to say something in the Taino Arawak language. So, Tagwe, Ditunu, Kenatiano, Dakadiri, Claudia Fox Tree, Yukayeki Guainia, Ka'i Daka Iaha. So basically saying my name again, where I'm from, and greetings, relatives. I'm happy to be here.
Ooh, give it up for that. That was gorgeous. As a retired educator, I'm sure you miss the babies.
I like working with the adults now.
As someone who's also an educator, I love the kids, but woo, it's a lot of work. You've spent years in the classroom exploring identity, culture, and justice. What moments as a teacher have stuck with you the most?
Well, some of the things are the everyday, oh, I get it, because I found a way, I was a special educator, so I found a way to help a kid learn something. Long term, it was kids coming back and saying, I remember when you taught this, or you taught that, or I looked forward to coming to class every day because I could see you.
That's so sweet. That means you were a good doobie. That means you were loved. Because the kids don't give love unless they really feel the love from the educators. Sure. That is so true. How has teaching hands-on shaped the way you think about equity and representation in education?
Well, when you teach as a lecture in front of the classroom nowadays with slides, but when I started, computers barely existed. So there's that idea that that's how you teach in straight rows, but that is in one culture. That is not in everyone's culture. Some cultures are auditory and they learn through their storytelling. Some cultures are hands-on, do as I do, and that's how you're going to learn. Some are visual and they need to see the final product before they can even know where to start. So it just has shaped my entire way of thinking about teaching and learning, that we are not all going to learn it just by sitting quietly, listening, and have it going through our eyes into our brain. We need to touch it, we need to practice with it, we need to talk about it, and we need to do all of those things. And it's not going to hurt anybody, and it might even help.
As somebody who identifies as a visual learner and hands-on experience, I truly appreciate that type of curriculum building and teaching, because in order for me to retain it, I have to put it into practice. So I love the fact that you named that. With ideas is a part of your curriculum work. Can you tell us what's it about and how you bring it into, like, how do you basically bring it to your students?
So for about 20 years, all of my, maybe even 25, ideas work was in person. In the beginning, again, no computers, just hands-on, talk about it, work through it. Now, in the last 5 years, I've been doing a lot more virtual. So the biggest challenge was, how do you change those hands-on activities into a virtual format? And I'm proud to say that I did work a lot at learning different ways I could have people manipulate things, even if they're 2D, or visually think of graphs or other kinds of media, maybe a video, to get the same topics across. I really like having, I work with adults, teachers who want to improve their strategies for helping to give access to all their students and include invisible stories, raise the voices and highlight achievements, history, and culture of people that are typically not visible in the curriculum. And through that interactions, I feel like the teachers get a lot more out of it, because then they can take one of those strategies back to the classroom that they've been learning with me in that the Zoom classroom, but I still do in person as well. But I'm happy to be able to do the virtual because there is a population of teachers, those who have to get right home and take care of the family, for example, or who have allergies and never leave their rooms, that can only have access through that medium.
How challenging was it for you to pivot in that moment? Because I know, as somebody who is an educator and having to teach through Zoom, it can be very daunting. And one of the things that I've noticed with especially young people is that they didn't always want to be on camera, right? And there was a multitude of reasons for that, which I don't think we've explored a lot or even talked about fully, as far as like, one, a lot of the students that I was teaching at the time were sharing rooms with their younger siblings, right? And they didn't want to show the backgrounds of their houses or the fact that this is now a sacred space. We're entering a sacred space. This is their home. How did you combat those challenges and still make it interactive for your students?
Again, I was a special educator, so I had a very small group of students, and I had close relationships with their families and parents. And so if there was one of those things, I would reach out to the parents. My district itself was one of the few districts that only in that March, April, May, June time, when we first were going through the pandemic, did virtual. We were back in school in September.
Oh, wow.
So I got to be... I know I am going to not have a lot of people that agree with this, but I loved that year of that first COVID year of being just with my kids, teaching them all the subjects. I was a middle school teacher, so that's not typical. You know, you have your content area teachers, but they were doing things live virtually, and I had my classroom, so I could teach all the subjects in the modes that worked for the kids. So I really liked it.
Oh, I love that. I don't know who's not going to like that, because I love that. I would sometimes I actually prefer being in a Zoom classroom than sometimes in person, because COVID's still going around. That's a real thing. With that being said, was there a particular lesson or student moment that really captured what you hope to teach?
Well, I'm going to go back to being in person because the last 5 years I was in person in the school. And one of the things I always like to do was around Native American Heritage Month, where I have, I do this with adults and I do it with students as well. I have a set of cards that's Native American contributions. Now, it's not every contribution, and some of them are contributions that are not unique to Native Americans, like daily bathing. But they're things you wouldn't necessarily associate, and since so much of Indigenous history and culture is invisible, it's a way to have conversations. And I'd have the kids pantomime or use, like you can say everything but the word, and try to get their team to guess the words on their card before the other team did. And the kids always loved that activity because it was interactive. They got to use their own connections to the words, even if it wasn't the Indigenous way. And they also learned unique things and were surprised by it. And that gave me a jump start way to go into a little more depth on whichever topics they were interested in after they had seen them all.
So we know that you've been educating for a while, and now as a retired educator, what would be some advice you would give to your younger self?
One of the things I've been thinking about lately is I would have told my younger self to get involved with the teachers union earlier, because it is a way to work on a systemic level that you don't have in your district. And if you are like me, one of the only teachers of color in your district, it is a way to meet other educators of color. So I am currently still actively involved with the Massachusetts Teachers Association as a retired teacher. But I would have told my younger self, get involved earlier so that you can make some change at that level.
I love that. So get involved earlier. So if you feel like you haven't gotten involved in enough time, it's never too late.
No.
With that being said, what are some things that you're currently working on, Dr. Foxtree? Any upcoming projects or initiatives you're excited about?
I'm super excited about a book that I've been writing. I'm using my social media posts to write as a book now, because previously I would post a lot of stuff about family or just personal experience, and I chose this year, starting January 1st, to be more active in how I was thinking about things. So everything I do, I now have, and this is how Indigenous people were made invisible, or, and let me tell you something else about this observance or holiday that you might not know in general. I might talk about which programs I did that had an interpreter and talk about disability awareness in that way, or the Capitol Crawl to just remind people that everybody has fought for rights. And I just making those connections for every post, and I'm going to be turning it into a book at the end of the year.
Congratulations on that book. Do we have a release date yet?
No.
That's okay. We're going to be looking out for that. I love the fact that you are bringing all of what you've known to the table, but also ensuring that the erasure of our history is still at the forefront, right? Like, we're still talking about it and ensuring that it doesn't go away, that it still is alive and well, and that you are educating people in that way. I feel like I could talk to Dr. Foxtree all day, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have with Dr. Claudia A. Fox. I want to thank you so much again for sharing your story and giving us all of your knowledge and your background and your wisdom, and we're going to stay tuned for that book. For those who want to stay connected, can you share with people where we can find you and also look up your social media that you're talking about?
The best place to connect with me is to go through the Massachusetts Center for Native American Awareness website, where my contact information is
and that's
amazed.
mcnaa.org. Perfect. Y'all give it up one more time for Dr. Claudia A. Foxtree. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're not done with our panel discussion yet. Give another round of applause for Dr. Claudia A. Fox. Are we ready for our next panelist? Are you all getting education? Yes. Are you learning? Learning is fundamental. Yes. With that being said, I want to introduce our next panelist. We are going to have Jean-Luc Pierite come to the stage. So good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Jean-Luc Pierite. Now, some of you might notice, if you've been paying attention to our GBH Outspoken Saturdays series, that Jean-Luc is a returning panelist. So give it up for somebody who's coming back to still share and catch us up on what's going on today in today's world. Jean-Luc Pierite, member of the Tunica Biloxi tribe of Louisiana, is an Indigenous artist, activist, leader, and scholar. Jean-Luc currently serves as the president of the board of directors for the North American Indian Center of Boston, that's NAICOB, which is the Massachusetts' oldest urban Indian center and a curatorial partner in the City of Boston Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture and the Unmonument, Remonument, and Demonument Project. So y'all need to give it up for that. I'm going to ask you some questions about the new one in a minute. Yeah. Formerly an MIT MLK visiting scholar, Jean-Luc is now a lecturer in the Department of Urban Studies and Planning with a focus on Indigenous planning and futurism. Y'all give it up one more time for Jean-Luc Pierite.
Thank you.
Did you have anything to do with that new statue that's over there next to the woman with the cage? By any means necessary. That was not a question on here.
No, not by any means necessary, but North American Indian Center Boston, we did partner with Rose Kennedy Greenway to have a temporary installation of a statue of Solomon Northup, who is the central figure of 12 Years a Slave.
Wow.
It is now being installed. It is now installed through December 10th. So, folks, if you are around Faneuil Hall, is right by the Boston Harbor's Welcome Pavilion at the back of Faneuil Hall. So please do check that out. It's a very, very important story.
I love the Rose M. Kennedy, Roseway, the Greenway, excuse me. That is such an important place to put something like this because all of the traffic is coming from South Station. So you cannot miss it whatsoever over there. And those folks are just amazing and doing amazing work. So I'm glad that I named that because I thought you did the one with the woman with the cage.
Oh yeah. But it's related. It's connected because it's all about Boston's reckoning with its legacy of slavery, but also when we're talking about Solomon Northup, he was here 170 years ago, so lecturing on abolition. So it's also about Boston's legacy with abolition as well. And we're proud to be there on Rose Kennedy Greenway with other Indigenous artists like Jeffrey Gibson, who has that mural at Dewey Square. Also, the installation, I'm sorry, I forget the name of the installation, but there is a Mexican artist that is right there. So there's a lot of Black and Indigenous storytelling that's happening on the Rose Kennedy Greenway right now.
Is that the one with the hoops?
Oh my goodness, there's the one with the hoops
Yes.
as well. No, I'm thinking about the one that is the Coleman coolers. They're all painted
yes.
gold, yeah.
You all need to get outside and go see these monuments because we are really like living history right now in this
Yes.
moment. What first inspired you to step into the space of Indigenous planning and futurism?
Oh my goodness! So this happened back 2019. So we were going into 2020, and before we realized that we were in a pandemic, we were about to recognize I call it the unremarkable anniversary of the landing of the Mayflower. And our community members weren't about that. They wanted to not just think about the last 400 years and what happened, but how do we build space for ourselves to project ourselves 400 years into the future and think about the world that we want to be in? And so we started to engage with Indigenous futurism. So we had a reading group there. And then about 3 years ago, I was invited to put in an application for the MLK Visiting Scholar program over at MIT. And I said, this is great. You know, we can talk about Indigenous planning, we can go through case studies, but we also want to pair that with readings in Indigenous futurism, because we don't just want our students to be culturally competent, but we want people to understand that Indigenous peoples have forward-thinking ideas about what they want to see for their community. So that was the reason for blending all of that together.
I love that explanation. Usually when we hear the term futurism, some people don't understand what that means, but it's like reimagining what our future could look like and making progress to do those things, right? Because we don't want to just be stuck in the past and remember all of the things that are trauma-filled and horrendous. We want to sit here and think, how can we be so inclusive in this time, and how can we make it more inclusive for our future?
Correct. I think about it in terms of like pathways of dispossession, but also resistance as well. You know, my own personal story of coming to Boston, we originally lost our home in Hurricane Katrina. I'm originally from New Orleans, and we lost our home in that storm. And just thinking about today, thinking about what's going on with the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Of course, Mayor Wu has put out there that the Office of Cultural Affairs is directing people towards trusted resources. So we want to people know that there are ways to help that are trusted, but also for our sister organization, United American Indians in New England, we also want people to know that with Typhoon Ahalong and the Kipnuk Alaska Native Village, we are directing people to the Alaska Community Foundation so that they can direct help there as well.
That's absolutely beautiful. I find that folks in times of need and when they want to donate, they're always second guessing whether or not if it's a trusted source, and that if their money and their materials, everything that they are donating are actually going to the people that need them.
Yeah, exactly. Especially right now when we are faced with, you know, well, as far as we know, SNAP benefits are expired. And we don't know when those benefits will come back. But still, even then, our community is coming together, trying to figure out a way to not just help ourselves, but to help others as well.
The real work, the real mission work. And that leads me to like asking you, for those who are not familiar with NAICOB's mission, what is their mission statement and what does your role as president of the board look like on a day-to-day?
Goodness. So we are Massachusetts' oldest urban Indian center. We provide cultural and social services for the New England Native American community. We have, as a board, we have taken a stance to try to extend as much as possible to all Indigenous peoples. We're not just talking about American Indians, Alaska Natives, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, our Taino brothers and sisters. Everybody that's Indigenous, whether they are in the immigrant community, they have a home in our center. And so for all of that, we're trying to, provide referral services, trying to make sure that people can find employment, anything that we can do with a staff of less than 10. We are covering the board because, we're not just here to share our culture, but we're here to provide for community as well. So while we're doing a lot of these arts talks, we want to make sure that translates into direct social services.
You are truly doing the work. Can we give Jean-Luc a round of applause? Incredible. Before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to something more personal for you.
Yeah.
Are there any mentors, ancestors, or figures who have shaped your journey in particular, and people that you look up to and draw inspiration from? Because this is a lot of work that you're doing, Jean-Luc. So where does that come from? Who do you want to amplify and uplift in this moment that have really touched your spirit?
Yeah, I wanna just lift up the top person that comes to mind right now is our co-lead of the United American Indians in New England, Motoin Monroe. Of course, we're set to acknowledge 55 years since the first National Day of Mourning. But we have to uplift our elders that have gone on. Of course, other folks like Mel King as well, people that have been out here, not just in the streets, but in the suites as well, trying to fight for social change. So, all of those people, they come before me, and I do my best to follow in their footsteps.
And they would be really, really proud because you are definitely doing that great work, Jean-Luc. So thank you so much. What's next for you? Are there any upcoming projects or collaborations that you're especially excited about?
Oh my goodness, that's a, that's a loaded question. I think we cover the board. We do as much as we can. I'm actually happy to explore with Department of Urban Studies and Planning. We're in our third year of teaching Indigenous water and energy planning over there. We're looking towards a fourth and a fifth year, so making sure that we're continuing to put that educational programming out into the community. Really excited about that as well.
And for folks who want to stay connected with you, where can they find you and find your work?
Yeah, so you can go to naicob.org. That's North American Indian Center of Boston. Also, there is uaine.org, United American Indians in New England.
Y'all, give another round of applause for our last panelist, Jean-Luc Pierite. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Jinx. Thank you so much.
All right.
And with that being said, please give another round of applause to both our panelists this afternoon, Dr. Claudia A. Foxtree and Jean-Luc Pierite. We are going to have a moment where we're taking pictures with the panelists, and we'll jump right back into our program where we will have our 8 spoken word poets for Outspoken Saturday. We'll see you in a second. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Outspoken Saturday. Can we just give another round of applause to our beautiful panelists, Dr. Claudia A. Foxtree and Jean-Luc Pierite, please and thank you. I hope you all are following all of them, both of them, and the organizations that they are affiliated with. They have a plethora of information, and you really could get involved. And as community, that's what we do. We want to make sure that we get involved and we do the work. Yes, yes? Yes, yes. Remember, you are on camera. I'm going to hold you all to it. Okay, with that being said, are we ready to get into our Outspoken Saturdays with our poets? Say yeah, yeah. We need more energy than that, y'all. Can I get a yeah, yeah? The people up top, can I get a yeah, yeah? I see y'all. I see y'all. Y'all, don't be shy.
And you will be heard.
And we will be heard, right? Absolutely. With that being said, I want to welcome our first Outspoken Saturday poet to the stage. But like I said, you all, this is really, really difficult. I know I'm making it seem like it's easy. It is not easy, okay? It is really, really difficult to get up here and share your heart and your art with a whole bunch of strangers that have never heard your voice before. So I need the energy to be high. And the reason why I ask for that energy to be high is because what you give to them is what they're able to give to us. Yes, yes. And I know we're in the library, but right now it's like we're in our living room. Yeah? Yes. And because you're on camera, I'm going to hold you all to that high energy standard. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. With that being said, please welcome our first Outspoken Saturday speaker to the stage, Nicole Henley.
It's funny because I just played Salem with my band yesterday, and there were like 10,000 people in Salem yesterday. But this is very different for me. So my name is Nicole. You can find me on all the social medias under NicoleHenley.SoulAlchemist. I do a lot of things, and I've been a writer my whole life, but it wasn't until this summer that I was like, I'm going to step out and put my writing out there. And so there is a little bit of nerve, so bear with me. Thank you to Amanda and GBH for this opportunity. It's really beautiful. My first piece, I'm reading two. My first piece I wrote like the very beginning of my spiritual journey, and it's called Collision Theory. The moment when conscious and subconscious meet is like the moment when you step into the street and almost get hit. And you're standing there, your eyes wide open, frozen in the moment, heat rising in your body, heart beating so loud that it almost becomes an unrecognizable sound. You finally find your feet beneath your legs and you scurry away, then your mind starts to play that age-old game of, I'm gonna contemplate the meaning of life now. Why is it all here, and why do we all matter? And wait, aren't we all matter? And then of course we all matter, do we? We'll just have to wait and see. So let's bring it back to energy and consciousness, and how at some point we can both become conscious and subconscious. And that saying of two minds are better than one makes so much more sense when you think of it like that. In combining those minds, you can truly see through all three eyes, and your senses begin to grow and change, your atoms rearrange, until you're no longer you, but a version of you, of me, of we, of nothing really. Vibrations bouncing off of other vibrations like positive and negative ions, pushing and pulling each other, magnetic, sometimes the opposite, like a puzzle, but all the pieces don't always fit. So is that why we have these bodies and minds? Because maybe the universe isn't ready for our souls to collide. So the second one, I wrote this one within the last year, and it was as I was processing and integrating and healing through an abusive relationship. And it's called Gaslight Gospel. He saw a version of me that wasn't real at all, a reflection sculpted from his need to control, to possess, to praise and punish in equal measure, and all the while, he fed me a version of him that didn't exist. A mirage dressed in devotion, dripping with promises that only ever bloomed in the dark. We were both pretending, but only one of us knew it. Only one of us was writing the script, while the other read lines she didn't know were lies. I became a shapeshifter, twisting my truth into palatable pieces, applauded for shrinking and punished for showing seams. He called it love when I bled compliance. He called it loyalty when I forgot how to say no. He loved the me who smiled through the sting, the one who swallowed herself just to keep the peace, the dimmed down version with softened edges, who mistook red flags for invitations to stay. And I fell for the him with soft eyes and performance grace, for the him who wore empathy like a rented suit, who could mirror everything I ever wanted and turn it into currency. But the mask slipped in moments when silence pierced louder than his practiced charm. When I caught glimpses of the void behind his rehearsed apologies, when my body flinched before my mind could catch up. We played house with haunted walls and picture frames of people we never truly were. I dressed up my wounds in forgiveness and false hope. He dressed up his chaos in charisma and the kind of love that only ever served him, but the body keeps score. And truth is patient when you've been taught to doubt your own, but eventually it screamed louder than his Gaslight Gospel. And then we broke with fire and a sigh, then a whimper and a hollowing, with doors closed, eyes glazed, and the ache of 1,000 unsaid things I was never safe enough to speak. He loved the silence that kept him sacred. I loved the hope that he might mean it someday. But when the spell shattered, when I finally stopped apologizing for the damage he denied, we were strangers, wreckage in the mirror, actors, costume deep. He was never the man he convinced me he was, and I was never the woman meant to live in someone else's script. Thank you. And thank you again for the opportunity just to read it.
Y'all give it up one more time for Nicole Henley. It's gorgeous writing. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love Outspoken Saturdays because I get to see not only poets that I've never got to hear before. Nicole, this is my first time experiencing your poetry, and that was fantastic. What a way to start our day off. And then on top of it, I get to see returning people in the audience, like Laura over there, who's also nominated for a Boston Music Award for Spoken Word Artist of the Year. She's also saying, make sure you say that you are too, but we're not talking about me, we're talking about you. But congrats to her and all of the fellow poets that are in that category for this year. There's still time to vote. You have until November 17th. Okay, with that also being said, we have Dawn Little in the audience as well. Oh, you didn't think he was gonna get a shout out? Hi, honey, who brought her entire class to the last Outspoken Saturday, who's just an amazing educator, also an amazing poet and artist within her own right. So we appreciate you all coming back and just returning with us and just celebrating with us, even when you're not on stage. So I just want to say, give it up to the other poets who are in the audience as well as the poets who are here to read for us today. That's commitment and that's the love. Oh, y'all being all shy now? I know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on blast, but that's what we do here. We have to big y'all up. With that being said, y'all ready for the next Outspoken Saturday poet? Say yeah, yeah. If y'all ready for the next Outspoken poet, say yeah, yeah. Please put your hands together for Shabazz.
That's perfect. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's an honor to be back here at the Boston Public Library. I performed at the Courtyard in 2023. Ever since then, I performed at the MIT, performed at the MFA, and now back here with GBH. NBCA, yes, at Hella Black. Thank you, Amanda Shea. Thank you, GBH, for the opportunity to be here at Outspoken Saturdays. I'm an Afro-Latino poet. I live right here in the city, yes, give it up for my Afro-Latinos. Born right here in the city of Boston, AKA Dorchester. And this poem that I'm going to read to you all is about love and Black essence. The title of this poem is Blue Hill Avenue, Harvard Street. And it goes a little something like this. Let me bask in the presence of your pulchritude, for you diamonds bow at your feet when you rise. In your aura, feathers find their wings to fly. I love your smiles, to smile, to teeth shown and eyes closed, highs. Confetti pops up in the sky for you daring to be different. Celebrate your impulses with champagne and blue roses. Here, a toast for the toasted and diligent intellectuals, where facades host a sanctuary for maximalist tranquility. No nerves to remove the waves rock when you groove. We become water when you ground your shoes. A mind refined to infinite waters, bury the guilt and shame for seeds of sons and daughters, dividing to multiply the better half. The uncommon denominator still sits in a cast. Used to open palms for sunrise and sunsets, still got love and respect for today's mathematics. This tune vibrates hills of dunes, so within there is no hiding for what sits in the room. Shake off the stagnation, them eyes roll with no security. Funny how time shows my blessings in the same vicinity. I consider nobody my real enemy, just wounded souls searching for new homes. And my spot is occupied, beloved. I won't go. Thank you. You can find me on Instagram at Rafael, 2_ Arturo, 2_. And in my bio, there's my profile in my website. So, thank you.
Y'all give it up one more time for Shabazz. I was in line and someone was like, his presence is so commanding. And I'm like, it really is. And if you all missed the BCA performance, it will be up on their YouTube channel very, very soon. The video of it is absolutely beautiful. With that being said, are y'all ready for our next outspoken poet? Say yeah, yeah. I am really honored to introduce this next person because not only has she been to Outspoken Saturdays about 3-4 times now, but this is her first time actually taking the stage officially. So y'all give it up for Sasa!
We made it! How's everyone doing this Saturday? Oh, how's everyone doing this Saturday? Woo! All right, I don't even know where I should be looking, but hi. My name is Sasa, and Boston very much is my home. I'm originally actually from the Cape, but my artistry kind of started here, so I have a lot of love to give back to the city. This poem I am going to share today, it's quite old. I wrote it when I was at Bunker Hill living with my grandma in Quincy, and this is for the people that need to understand failure is just a part of success, and when you beat yourself up, just understand that the light is within you to keep going because you just have to. You can't give up on yourself. So this is Memoir of a Disappointment. A failure is just someone who continues on the path to choose. Sorry, we're gonna redo that. Okay. Okay. This is Memoir of a Disappointment. A failure is just someone who continues on the path to achieving success. A failure is someone who is put to the test. I'm a failure telling you if you cannot handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. I've already been to the past. That's why I don't want to go back. But I get it. We use old times to fill in the blanks for what the present lacks. The scene cuts by fading into black. Boastful blue skies transformed into gloom and doom canvases of gray. I've been tragic, hooked on unhealthy habits. Crooked characters came in and had perfect timing to wreak havoc. I found comfort in the comforters, closure in closing the bedroom door. If the truth was a girl, I bet she would be insecure. She's pretty when she makes me feel ugly. She hugs me, then looks at her reflection in the tears trickling down the apples of my cheeks. Truth doesn't mistake my vulnerability for being weak. I am my biggest critic. The words sit on the tip of my tongue as if my honesty is acidic. You don't want this trouble, because I've been sitting through the rubble for the past 6,395 days, putting one foot forward to be further from my old ways of being complacent, making my dome seem vacant. How does one go to school, but the curriculum seems useless, grading development intelligence just as ruthless, and the truth is, students are deduced to a decimal. I'm not gonna remember this knowledge, Just as long as my GPA is good enough to get me into this college, can't get upset when I get into debt, because as a social norm is just what we should expect. Now, I do have an affinity for learning. Although I'm not much of an academic, all I really know is how to make my thoughts sound poetic. There's many different ways to be smart, and I choose to show that off in my art. I'm just a little black girl from the suburbs with big dreams of doing big things, living in the city, another victim of the human condition, but I'm not looking for pity. I'm only on a quest to extend any limit to put on display that regardless of my pace, my distance is exquisite. When it comes to the future, I'm guided by perseverance, privileged from the struggle, forever motivated by the hustle. I'm an outcast. I don't have a place. If there's no room, I make my own space. I've had moments where opportunity held the door open for me. Others when the door was slammed on my face, which is why I crawled through windows as my saving grace. Mommy always told me to fix my posture, so now I stand like a scholar. Took out the self-doubt. Now I appear a little taller. I walk like a model, speak like a queen, poised and pristine, think like a CEO, because think about it. If one never fails, success is a feeling they'll never get to know. Every mistake was a footprint leading me to where I always wanted to go. Thank you. And one more thing, if you wanted to find me, Sasa Epiphany on Instagram. I do a lot of different things. I am an artist, but thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks, Amanda and GBH. Okay, have a good Saturday.
Y'all give it up one more time for Sasa. Next up, new to the Outspoken Saturdays stage, I need y'all to give all the love to Margareth Ngueza.
Maybe a little lower. Just a bit. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Margareth Ngueza. I'm from Brockton, from the South Shore, and I'm so happy and so grateful to be here today. Today I'm going to be reading a piece of poetry from my book, Training Archives, that I self-published on Amazon in 2022. And this is actually the first poem from that book. A little bit about me is that I am a first-generation American. My parents are immigrants from the country Angola. And a lot of my poetry is about my experience, navigating life in the day-to-day as a child of immigrants from Angola, speaking Portuguese and Lusophone-based poetry. And this poem is called Full Moon in Pisces. Today, I feel lighter than yesterday. And the day before that. I'm content in knowing that I will come across many crossroads in this path. And I feel freer knowing that a crossroad is nothing to fear. I am enjoying the life that I manifested for myself, humbly, because I know that I am strengthened through choosing the path of knowledge. And the permanent confirmations around me are no coincidence. They are reassuring and elating. That's my poem for today. If you're interested in finding me and learning a little bit more about my art and the other ways that I serve my community, you can follow me on Instagram. That's MARG Does Care. Thank you so much.
Y'all give it up one more time for Margareth Ngueza. So cute. Are y'all ready for our next outspoken poet? Say yeah, yeah. Please put your hands together for Ashley Abitz.
Hello, all. Thank you. You're welcome. Hello, all. My name is Ashley Abitz. I also go by AE Abitz. I am actually an MFA student in poetry at Emerson. And I'm really excited to be here. I'd love to thank GBH and Amanda Shea for the opportunity. The poem I'm going to read today was inspired by Frank O'Hara's poem entitled Why I Am Not a Painter. And my poem is called Why I Am Not a Musician. What's not fair about music is melody. Sexy, synco-strated, mezzo-mated hooks and hum of strings, that creamy downbeat think, transport me, otherworldly. Turn of tongues, pulsating phases. What's not fair about music is melody. I swear, these words can't compare to any ethereal thump, though now O'Hara raises his radiant nasal to query why this heartbeat can't be shared and crafted by me. And truly, Frank, it's the forfeit of magic, the risk of waves truncated. What's not fair about music is melody. What gives the reverb rattle of ribs drives deeply into all my begging spaces. Those sultry, timber-tangled backbeats leave me wishing I could be music's maker. While on these vision-laden pages, what doesn't seem fair is melody. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Ashley Abitz. I just want a collective awe because we only have 3 more Outspoken Saturday poets. Can I get a collective awe? Aw. But that's okay because we're back next month on December 6th. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen today and heard today and it resonated with you all, make sure that you go to GBH and sign up on our website, or also tell a friend to tell a friend. Or you can just go and see Juan José, who's not at the table right now, but there is a table right there, and it has... Say hi, Juan José. Go see Juan José. If you have a friend or you are interested in also joining the program, you can sign up with us and we will send you an email with the link so that you could submit your poems too, so that you too can be part of the program. Does that sound like a cool plan to y'all? We got one person clapping. I love it. We're here. We're here. With that being said, I'm going to welcome our next Outspoken Saturday speaker to the stage. Please give a round of applause for returning poet, Queen. It's because I have heels on today.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is my 4th time coming back, and I want to thank WGBH and Amanda for allowing me to come back and read. My name is Queen. My given name is Henrietta Hodge, named after my mother and my great-grandmother. So I'm honored to have that name as well. My Queen is also a family name on my father's side, and I am honored to represent that name as well. I am a poet that and an artist. My poetry is it's basically current event poetry and then personal poetry. And the poem that I'm going to read today is about some embarrassing moments that we've all had, and the one that inspired this was I went to work one day with different color shoes. They were the same style, but I got dressed in the dark, and I didn't realize that I had 2 different color shoes on. And and no one told me anything about it. I didn't look at my feet, and no one told me. So the name of the poem is called Things We Wish Someone Would Tell Us. Don't you wish someone would say, "There's a crumb on your face. Your hair is out of place. Better zip up your fly. There's crud in the corner of your eye. You need a tissue for your nose. Your dress is tucked into your pantyhose. Coffee you spilled left a stain. You dropped your tea pass on the train. A piece of lint is in your hair. A hunk of wax is in your ear. toilet paper stuck on the bottom of your shoe. Your colleague has come down with the stomach flu. No need to shout. Your shirt's inside out. Your breath still packs a punch from the tuna fish sandwich you ate for lunch. Your blouse is buttoned wrong. You only have one earring on. Your hem is hanging by a thread. Watch out overhead. You left the price tag on your clothes. The sign said, don't touch those. One shoe is black, the other is blue. Your socks are mismatched too. You left your belongings on the bus. Your new boss's name is not Gus. There's a hole in the seat of your pants. What you touched were poison ivy plants. You mispronounced that word. You stepped on a turd. There's some food in your teeth. That's a one-way street. What you said sounds absurd. Someone just flipped you the bird. Your shoelaces are untied. That memo you shared was classified. Don't click on that link. It's not what you think. The mandatory meeting was yesterday. That was not a buffet. The key isn't under the mat. A little birdie christened your hat. Those people you were standing between contracted COVID-19. The car repair is more than you can afford. Your computer hard drive can't be restored. You parked in a tow zone. Your doctor's appointment has been postponed. There's no bathroom nearby. Your prescription expired in July. You dropped your keys. That cute little dog has fleas. Why the hesitation to shed light on the situation? If the shoe was on the other foot, it'd be great to have some input. No need to chide, take in quietly aside. You could circumvent some embarrassment. Will you speak up or walk away? I hope the next time you'll have something to say. Thank you.
Y'all give it up one more time for Queen. We're down to our last two Outspoken Saturdays speakers, and without further ado, I want you to give all the energy and put your hands together for AVA!
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? So, yo, yeah, just making sure I'm projecting well. I tend to be loud when I'm on the mic. Yeah, all right, so my name's, I appreciate it for sure. So, yeah, my name's AVA. I'm a rapper, hip-hop producer out of Leominster, Massachusetts. Came about an hour to get out here, so it's a pleasure to have Boston welcome me here. Shout out to everyone that's here. Shout out to WGBH, Amanda Shea. Again, I really appreciate the platform. And, yeah, so when it comes to what I'm about to be presenting right here, again, although I am a rapper, my origins do kind of start from poetry, so I'm really trying to show that that's the bridge with everything, you know, rhythm and poetry, but coming here to actually show something a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? And I'd say when it comes to the theme with a lot of my poetry, my writing overall, I tend to talk a lot about the constant dichotomy that's within life, malevolence and benevolence, light and dark, etc. You know, I try to highlight a little bit of both because they're always both going to exist, you know? So, all right, so first one I'm going to read, this one's called The Illusion of Paradise, and this was written probably about like, damn, this was probably written when I was a teen, to be honest, but I still find it to be really relevant to everything that's going on in my life currently. And this was about really just how the light and how good situations that you might think that you're attracted to can actually be the exact opposite and provide the opposite results, to not let yourself stray too far off of that path when you start to notice that happening. All right, so the illusion of paradise. Found my way to paradise. Didn't quite feel right. Although I yearned to gain knowledge of the light, the overwhelming experience caused my shadow to grow larger than ever before. And not only did my fears once again come to life, but I realized that I, myself, am nothing but a shadow of who I once was. After years of being torn by abandonment, I would have never guessed the first person I would leave behind would be myself. I guess this is the change that I truly wish for, but I should have been more careful. The past is truly what I miss more. I appreciate it. Again, that's very much about kind of my struggles in the past, coming from a rough background and having some desires that ended up just not being what I initially expected. But thankfully, I was able to kind of change everything that I was going through at that moment and come into a better position in life, you know? So now this next one here, this is one you could probably tell that I have a little bit more origins as a rapper as well. So this one's called Held Back Too Long. All right. Didn't think that life would go this way. I'm still not taking back past decisions. I had clairvoyance, but I lost it. When you're in the field, you gotta be cautious. It gets nauseating with the flashbacks. It felt regular around hazmats, but would be irrational to start backtracking. People moving shady, they're bound to be jaded. Might fade away if you stay outdated, but I'm used to being on the outside. I don't need everyone's acceptance. Vampires draining our energy, trying to be friends with me, spreading their pestilence. I'm keeping my aura bright, mental health stand right. Remember when I was too negligent? I'm sharing experiences with transparency, while some others will keep it opaque as they laugh in your face. And I'm laughing back, I don't fall for the rage bait. Said I'm sharing experiences with transparency, while some others will keep it opaque as they laugh in your face. And I'm laughing back, I don't fall for the rage bait. Try to throw them dirt in my name, how dare you? It's showing they scared of the truth, lack of accountability as well. And it ain't hard to tell, but I'm still growing. I'm still growing, you know. I'm still growing, staying humble, make collages, witty wordplay, that's my process, the street side sound, making progress. And see, I might have stumbled a little bit right there, but something that I've always learned about my stage presence, or just stage presence in general, if you stumble a little bit, you have to learn to just act like that didn't happen and just get right back up. And that's how I please the crowd, you know? You got to just have some bravery. We all slip sometimes. Even one of them said it earlier, failure is a part of the process for success. So you got to have to remember that for sure, you know? And I don't even see that as a failure. That was still a success to me. I still got y'all energy, so I love that very much. So again, thank y'all for having me here. My name's Aviate. You can find me on all platforms at The Aviator, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. I'm on everything. So much love to y'all. Thank you. Have a good day.
Y'all give it up one more time for Aviate. I love the symbolic of that too, the symbolism within that, and how he connected Sasa's failure, right? And how there's no such thing as mess up. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. That's how I feel. We can't be afraid of his mistakes. And what I just witnessed, Aviate, which I appreciate so much, especially as an artist, as a poet, is we have to have humility. We have to run with humility, because when you run with humility, there's nothing that's going to ever stop you, because we all fall down, but we all get back up. With that being said, I have no other spoken word artist of the month, but one more. Can I get a collective aw? With that being said, closing us out today, also a returning poet to the Outspoken Saturday platform. Please put your hands together and give all the love to my brother, Mike D. Poet!
Thank you. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, GBH. Again, my name is Mike D. Poet. That's where you can find me on all platforms at Mike D. Joseph on Instagram and TikTok. A lot of the poetry that I write about, that I recite, comes from my personal experience about love, relationships, and intimacy. So that's going to be the theme today as I close this out. This first piece, I was inspired to write this. It was me, it was my wife, and one of our good friends, Elisa. We were sitting around talking about what was our favorite mediums, and poetry has always been dear to me, but music is also my second love. So this next piece is pretty much my love poem to music. It's called Press Play. I press pause, and I press rewind, wishing I can replay the feeling you gave me the first time. Your vibrations help replenish what the world depletes of me. You give me energy. You give me distraction from what the world expects of me. You give me grace. You are the glue to all parts of me that want to break. You give, and you give, and you give. And what do you want in return? You give, and you give, and all you want is to be heard. So I listen. I listen to every beat, every chord, and every drum. Every giver deserves someone that will shut out the ears for the one that they love. So yeah, for you, I will listen. Even on the days I have nothing to say. For you, I will pause the world, put my headphones in, and press play. Mike D. Poet, thank you. Thank you, thank you. This next piece I'm going to recite to you guys is very dear to me. It's another piece that I've never performed yet. And when I wrote this, it was last year after learning that my wife was first diagnosed with stage 4 inflammatory breast cancer. It was a very dark time for us, but fast forward to today, she is healthy, she is cancer-free, she is in recovery. And she is here right now supporting me. As you see, she's recording. She has been there for me just as I've been there for her throughout her whole treatment, and she always makes an effort to make all of my shows. And when I told her, hey, I'll cancel everything that I have scheduled, she's like, no, baby, I'm gonna come with you to every single one because I want to support you. So I just want to say thank you to you, Shirley, Shells with a Z. Appreciate all that you do for me. So this last piece is called 1,000 Times. Our love story, it's not perfect. It's full of typos and bad grammar. But the connection is like cursive. My ink bleeds on all 26 of your letters. I got your back, and you got mine. Cross my T's, I'll dot your I's. The ink might bleed the way you write, but you let me read, so I learned your mind. I'm not sure what tomorrow brings. I'm not sure about the future between you and I, but I am sure about one thing. If given the chance to live 1,000 lives, I'd wake up and choose you 1,000 times. Mike D. Poet, thank you. Thank you all so much for listening and spending your morning with me, your afternoon with me. It means so much. And thank you, GBH and Amanda Shea, for all that you guys do, giving us artists a platform to share our truth. So thank you so much. Thank you all. Appreciate you guys.
Y'all, give it up one more again for Mike D. Poet! So quick story time before I bring up our last really surprise special guest, because I was just told in the back that we're bringing somebody else up, and it's so cute. But before I even get up there, oh no, they're not. Oh, okay. We were gonna have a little person come up here and just spit something on the mic really, really quick. They were 6 or 7 years old, and I was like, yes, of course the kids can have the mic all the time. But I think they left. But I do have a story time real quick. I was outside, and I try to catch everybody's performance on that screen out there, and just catching people's real-time reactions when they're seeing people spit their poems. Now it's cold. and I'm getting over a cold, so I only did it for 2 of y'all, but you'll see a beautiful recap done by Olivia by the end of this month. With that being said, I just ran into a woman and her daughter, and they're from DC, and they came in here, and they've just been touring around Boston for this past weekend, and they popped in here, and they were like, I love this program. Where can I support? And I was like, support like as in how? Because you're already supporting, because you've already been here and this is your presence and then you're giving your energy. And they were like, no, how can I donate to the program? Because we need more poets and more poetry to be seen and heard and amplified. And I almost cried. So if you see my eyes watering, it is cold, but it was also tears of joy, because it's stories like that and people like that come in here and they don't know what to expect. So I want to also thank the Boston Public Library for hosting us every single month, because this is what it's about. Art and culture is alive and well, and the world doesn't move without it. So when we say give it up for the poets, it's not just because they're up here sharing their heart and their arts. It's because it's going to transform you in some way, somehow, shape, or form. I always tell people as an educator, triggers are teachers. So if you're triggered by something, that just means you have some work to do. And you need to bring that to the forefront. And I think that everything that these people have displayed today, not emotional in a Scorpio season. Everything that these people have displayed today, even the panelists themselves, is why we do what we do here. So I know that everybody with this administration and everything that is going on in the world can seem very scary. Sometimes our pockets may seem a little thin at times, but anything counts. Any donation, any piece matters, because when you donate to us, you donate to all of them and give more poets and more artists an opportunity to share their heart and their arts on the stage. So I want to just say thank you to all of y'all, even y'all up top, because I know some of y'all were studying and y'all came and looked over here. So thank you so much for being a part of this, because this show does not go on without a live studio audience. So give it up for yourselves for being with us for this entire time. Scorpio season got me in my feelings. It's okay. With that being said, if you are interested in performing, one more again, please feel free to sign up at this table right here. You cannot miss it. Juan José is right there, right in front of it. If you know an artist or you are an artist yourselves, as you saw with AV8, some of your favorite rappers were poets first. So if y'all, I may be aging myself, but I come from the era of Def Poetry Jam. Okay, so I'm not just the only 80s baby in the room. I come from Def Poetry Jam, and I remember the likes of Common. I remember the likes of Talib Kweli. I remember the likes of Kanye West. Ye. I remember the likes of, I don't want him coming for me. I remember the likes of even Saul Williams when he came up on stage and he had that big scroll and he was reading that poem. That, for me, was my first introduction to poetry live and unfiltered. And to be able to bring a platform like this and curate this space with poets is just everything that I would hope it would be. So I just want to give another round of applause to all of the poets. I'm going to ask y'all to come up here in like 2 seconds. Before we go, I want to thank the Boston Public Library again. This Boston Public Library is historic. It's one of the oldest libraries in the world. So with that being said, please give a round of applause to the Boston Public Library for hosting us here. Also give a round of applause to the Newsfeed Cafe for nourishing us and feeding us with all of the sweet treats and coffees and teas, especially that peppermint tea. I needed that. Now, can I get a round of applause for our wonderful GBH crew? This would not move without this beautiful team. Maddie, Geier, Juan, José, Cadena, Duenas, Olivia Quercio, Hannah Thomas, and last but certainly not least, Sandra López Burke. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Again, my name is Amanda Shea, and I am your host and curator of Outspoken Saturdays. I already noticed that some of you have followed me, so thank you so much. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. It is Amanda Shea, and that's Shea like the butter. So S-H-E-A. It's Amanda Shea all day. And if you look in my bio, you will also see all of the tags for GBH and how to follow us online as well. We also have a YouTube channel, so please subscribe. You can look up all of the other poets from all of the other seasons. Y'all, we are in season 4. We are in season 4. I stress that's a big deal because with everything that's going on, for us to even still be able to be here is just magical to me. So again, clap it up, clap it up. And I'm going to invite all of the poets up to the stage. Audience, this is now your time to shine. If you would like to take a picture with all of the poets, well, not with all of the poets, but with me and all the poets, the picture of the poets. Now is your time to shine. We're going to be doing all these photo ops in 2 seconds, but I also want to thank every single poet that we've had on stage. Nicole, thank you so much. Ashley, Sasa, Aviate, Queen. Also give it up for Dr. Claudia A. Foxtree, who's still with us in the building. Shabazz, Margaret, and Mike D. Poet, who have stayed for the entire program. Thank you so much, and we will see you on December 6th for the next Outspoken Saturday. Bye.